Speaking of the danger of tools, just another thought experiment to get our minds going. Consider a chainsaw. A chainsaw versus a kitchen butter knife, for example. The chainsaw is much more dangerous than the butter knife, but as far as something like cutting down trees, it's far, far more powerful. When it comes to, I think we've got a similar situation when it comes to the tools for interpreting biblical symbolism and finding many of the poetic interconnected relationships between different parts of scripture and how the different layers, we saw the four senses of scripture, the four layers of Jewish interpretation. There are tools for extracting the for mining the for digging out the rich meaning of the mines of scripture's depth. And some of those tools can be dangerous. They can be misused, much like a chainsaw can cut off your leg. But if you want to cut down a tree, boy, it sure is nice to have a chainsaw. So the answer is not. It's a similar thing to the situation with doctrines. There's dangerous doctrines, right? Paul in Romans chapter 6 talking about the gospel of grace can be misused, abused as license for sin. Oh, let's just go with sin so that grace may increase. If forgiveness is freely given through the blood of Christ, then let's just sin and Christ will be glorified in his forgiveness. That's an abuse of a legitimate doctrine. Just the fact that something can be abused doesn't mean that the thing is bad. Some of the things that are most prone to abuse are some of the things that are most powerful and most good. Human sexuality. Is that a bad thing? No. God made human sexuality to be a beautiful thing and to be a foreshadow of the intimate, exquisite relationship between Christ and his church, between the Lamb and the bride at the end of Revelation. The pleasures forevermore at the right hand of the Lord. And yet, man, is there opportunity for abusing human sexuality? There is a ton of opportunity for really making a mess of things, making your life miserable, making other people's lives miserable, offending the Lord and getting fire and brimstone are rained down upon you in judgment. So some of the most beautiful things have the most potential for abuse. Some of the most useful things are also the most dangerous if misused. And as it turns out, there are tools for biblical interpretation that enable you to dig out these a lot of symbolic representation that the Lord has embedded in there, a lot of lessons of interconnected texts and what they may be saying, sometimes in roundabout allegorical ways, and there's a great potential for misuse because there's also a great potential for good, as it is with many things.